Hello, so for today's lesson, we are going to learn about adding and subtracting fractions. Now, this is going to be a pretty long lesson, and so I'm going to separate them into different topics. The first one where we have the same denominator, right? And now remember, the denominator is the bottom number, and the numerator is the top number, such as 1/5 plus 2/5. The second thing we will talk about today is if they have different denominators and we're just using a common multiple. So this will be a very straightforward one, and this will be the best method for beginners to use. So this is, for example, if we have 1/2 plus 1/3, right? And then the other one, again, is different denominator, but this time we want to use the lowest common multiple. Now, the lowest common multiple is the best method. Okay. Unfortunately, it does require a little bit of extra work. You need to know the lowest common multiple first. So this will be recommended for students who are a little bit more comfortable with fractions, right? But we will talk about all three things with adding and subtracting fractions. So now, first we will start with the same denominator. We'll just use this pen. Same denominator. Now, the thing is, with fractions, we can only add and subtract fractions if the bottom numbers are the same. If the bottom numbers are different, we cannot do this, right? So let's say we have here, here is our box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here is another box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll divide them both into fifths. This one we will have 1/5 shaded. This one has 2/5 shaded. So altogether, how much have we got shaded? Altogether we have 1, 2, 3, 3/5 shaded. Okay, because we can put these three blocks together. Okay, and because they're all the same size, they have the same denominator. So when we are adding or subtracting fractions, the bottom number must be the same. And 2, we only add or subtract the top numbers. Only add or subtract the top numbers. So we'll just do 2 more quick examples, such as 1/8 plus 5/8, right? So here, because the 2 bottom numbers are the same, we can add them together, right? We have bottom number is 8, bottom number is also 8. So the bottom number stays the same. We do not change it. We only add together the top numbers. So 1 plus 5 is 6. And of course, 6/8 is not fully simplified. So we will simplify this, turns into 3/4. Another example we'll do, if we had 7/10 minus 1/10. Again, we look at the denominators. The denominators are 10 and 10, so they are both the same, which means we can add or subtract them. So we just write 10, we keep the denominator the same. Then the top numbers, we will subtract them this time because this is a subtraction question. So now we'll do 7 minus 1 is 6. Now again, this one can be simplified even further. Divide them both by 2, we'll end up with 3/5. All right, and that's how we add or subtract fractions if they have the same denominator. Now, the next one is we want to add or subtract fractions if they have a different denominator. and we just want to use any multiple. Now, this is okay. It just requires a little bit of extra work if we happen to have some very large denominators. So this will be, for example, if we had 1/2 plus 2/3. Okay, now we cannot add these two fractions together because their bottom numbers are different. Here we have a 2, here we have a 3. So we must make them the same. Now, how are we going to make them the same? The easiest way to make them the same is to choose a common multiple for the denominator, all right? Because we can change our fractions by multiplying the top and the bottom number by the same number. So they will look different, but they are still the same, all right? So here, in this case with the 2, I will take this 3 here and I'll multiply here with a 3, right? And this 3 I'll multiply here with the 2. So we just multiply the two bottom numbers together. 2 times 3, 3 times 2. Now remember, whatever we do to the bottom, we do the same thing to the top to keep our fractions equivalent. So we'll multiply this one by a 3 as well. And we'll also multiply this one by 2. Okay, so what do we end up with? We end up with 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, now that the bottom numbers are the same, see the bottom numbers are both 6, we can add these two together. So the bottom number is 6, and the top number will be 3 plus 4, which is 7. And of course, we can simplify this and write as a mixed number 1 and 1/6. Right? So now let's do this with another example. Right? Let's say we have let's say 2/9 plus 1/6. Okay? Same thing. We will take the two bottom numbers and we'll multiply them together. So the 9 will multiply with 6 and the 6 will multiply with 9. And we have to remember to do the same thing to the top and to the bottom to make sure the fraction remains equivalent. So then here we'll multiply by 6 as well. Here we will also multiply by 9. Now we will multiply and rewrite our new fractions. So 9 times 6 is 54. So the bottoms are both going to be 54. Okay, 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 9 is 9. All right, now the bottom numbers are the same and I can add them together. 54 and 12 plus 9 is 21. Now, of course, this one can also be simplified. All right, so we can divide them both by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 54 divided by 3 is 18. All right, and so that is how we can add or subtract fractions. If the denominators are different, we just multiply the two denominators together, and we make sure to do the same thing to the top. Now, the best method, as I said at the beginning, is if we had different denominators, but we use the lowest common multiple. So let's try again with the example we had before. 2/9 and 1/6. Now, yes, we can choose to multiply them by each other, right? The two bottom numbers. But that made very large numbers, a very large fraction here, which we needed to simplify. If we choose the lowest common multiple, we wouldn't need to do any simplifying. So here we say, what is the lowest common multiple of 9 and 6? The lowest common multiple is the smallest number that is both divisible by 9 and divisible by 6. And so the smallest number we can think of as 18, right? So here the LCM is 18. So now we have to say, well, 9 times what is 18? 6 times what is 18? Right? So 9 times 2 is 18. So I need to multiply this one by 2. And 6 times 3 is 18, so I need to multiply this one by 3. So here I multiply this also by 2, multiply this also by 3. Now, if we do all these calculations, we will see 9 times 2 is 18, 6 times 3 is 18. Good, they have the same bottom number. Now do the top. 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3. Right? And because the denominators are the same, that means I can add them together. 4 plus 3 is 7. And you can see here we get the same answer as we did before, but this time we didn't need to do any simplifying because we chose the lowest common multiple. Right? So whether you choose to use this method with the lowest common multiple or the other method where you just use any multiple, it really doesn't matter, but best to use the lowest common multiple because the smaller our numbers and the less work we have to do, the less likely we will make mistakes. So let's just do one more example here. So let's say we've got 9 tenths minus 2 fifths. So here, what is our lowest common multiple? Our lowest common multiple is actually 10 because we can easily turn the 5 into a 10 by using 5 times 2, which means I'm going to multiply it also by 2. Now, here on this side, our fraction is already a fraction with a denominator of 10, which means we do not need to change it. So what do we end up with? We end up with 9 over 10 minus 4 over 10. So again, keep the bottom numbers the same, 10, and we subtract the top numbers. 9 minus 4 is 5. All right, and so then again, we can simplify this one, and this turns into 1/2. Okay, so I hope these examples help you to better understand how to add and subtract fractions. Please let me know if you require any further explanations, and leave any comments if you'd like any more videos to be made.